refresh my recollection. What was the name of it?
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Nice to see you all. And we're going to go back into open session. Is that correct? Do we need a roll call?
Trustee Deininger?
Yes.
You'll remember. Okay.
Trustee Schofer?
Yes.
Trustee Davis? Here. Trustee Dolce?
Here.
Trustee Jacobson?
Here.
Trustee Worthington?
Here.
Trustee Ajikame?
Here.
Trustee Davis?
Oh, I said here already. We got mixed up. I just heard the Davis part, sorry.
And President Kesselman?
Here.
All right. Happy to have you all here. Chairperson's report, I have nothing to report, so we will jump right into President's report. Dr. Kesselman.
Thank you all. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see you today. And thanks to those who were at the Faculty Assembly meeting yesterday. I have great joy today to be able to present a resolution to Donna Busby, who is our Vice Chair of the Stockton Foundation Board. And it's the naming of the Office of Development and Alumni Affairs as the Dr. Joe Francis Stowe Office of Development and Alumni Affairs. This was pre-approved by the Executive Committee on January 22nd. Let me give you a little bit of background of Dr. Stowe. She's given more than 35 years of exemplary service to Stockton with a distinguished career earlier in her, for those who do not know, as an assistant professor of public health here, and was an extremely popular assistant professor and a very dedicated one. She joined our foundation board of directors in 1981 and has served continuously through today, receiving emeritus status in 2016. Of particular note, and this everyone who knows her knows this about her, is her extraordinary effort as chair and member of the Scholarship Selection Committee, where her faithful review of every student essay and faculty letter of recommendation, and she could memorize them and knew it the moment she met with the students, ensured that all students received a reasoned and objective opportunity to reward a foundation scholarship. To recognize Joe Francis Stowe for her many years of excellent service and strong commitment to Stockton and its students, the Stockton University Foundation Board of Directors recommends that the Office of Development and Alumni Affairs be named in her honor as the Dr. Joe Francis Stowe Office of Development and Alumni Affairs. To further the recognition and commitment, the Foundation Board collaborated with the very, very successful university's Osprey's Give campaign and raised more than $14,000 in that honor. I've known Joe Francis since the time I came to Stockton. Her husband, Ken Stowe, was our first Don Hudson, and he was the person who was most responsible in many respects for our veterans programs and things of that nature. Both Ken and Joe Francis Stowe are extraordinary citizens of Stockton. They more than have earned this award. We thank her for her many, many years of great service. She is a very, very special human being and is a treasure at this institution. So I ask that the Board of Trustees, the full Board of Trustees, put forth a motion in support of the naming of the Office of Development and Alumni Affairs.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or comments?
Trustee Deininger?
Yes.
Trustee Schofer?
Yes.
Trustee Davis? Trustee
You're
Taggart
going to have to
Davis.
use
Yes.
first name for Davis.
Trustee Dolce?
Yes.
Trustee Jacobson?
Yes.
Trustee Worthington?
Yes.
Trustee Ajikame?
Yes.
I would also ask, if she doesn't mind, and I didn't ask her beforehand whether she would do it, but Donna Busby, who is our vice chair, also a wonderful accountant, terrific supporter of Stockton, to come up. One of the, top 5 accountants in New Jersey, whoever you were just named, come up and say a few words.
The Foundation Board really is so appreciative of the support of the Board of Trustees, and Dr. Stowe is such a wonderful and well-deserving recipient of this. The Foundation was really happy to help support in this recent campaign along with so many other people, and we're so happy that it has been successful, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Donna. Round of applause. This is really worth it. I get item number 2, and it's with great honor that I am able to mention this into the public light, the Marketing and Media, the University Relations, URM, Relations and Marketing Department, as most of you know, I think I sent out an email sometime earlier this week, just won 3 national marketing awards, national, for their Stockton Choose campaign. The Council for Advancement and Support of Education, which is CASE, which is the, one of the bodies that oversees institutional marketing. They've received the Institutional Marketing and Identity Branding Silver Awards. That's like number 2 in the country. The Education Digital Marketing Awards, silver again, Total Digital Marketing Program. We're going to start with the silver and then end with the highest honor. The AVA Digital Awards, it's the platinum highest honor for Digital Marketing Division, Integrated Marketing. That's significant. It's a very, very creative bunch that have made the difference in how we portray ourselves to the community. The emphasis moving from buildings to people, starting with our, as much as I love buildings, and we spent a lot of time in the last 3 hours talking about buildings, but we're moving from buildings to people, both our faculty and our students, our athletes and everything else being featured on the homepage, to every other kind of situation where we try to showcase the people at Stockton and the great things that they're doing. So it's with extraordinary pleasure that I introduce Jeff Pederser, our Executive Director of University Relations and Marketing, who I think may even have a presentation of some sort. Round of applause for him and the team.
We should all be so lucky to get an introduction like that. Good afternoon, Chair Deininger, members of the board, President Kesselman, and Stockton colleagues. Yes, I've been asked to make a presentation, and it actually relates to the awards that were just announced for the Choose campaign. Some of the imagery that you're going to see on screen may be familiar to you. This is our Choose campaign, which is not just an awareness campaign to build the brand of Stockton University, but it directly supports the recruitment efforts that strategic enrollment management personnel conduct throughout the year. So working along with the URM staff, the admission staff, and other members of the strategic enrollment management team, we put together this campaign, allowing students to see the variety of things that they can choose to do here at Stockton. But how does this all come about? How do we actually get here? Well, it's more than that. It's more than getting here. It's making sure that it works. And so in URM, what we choose to do is make an impact. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. We do that through research. We do it through collaboration, creative content development, campaign development, and of course, implementation. And that implementation is integrated. There are a lot of different factors that go into it. And we have partners on campus that actually assist us in that process. Of course, in the end, we need to make sure that it's running well. So how do we keep track of that? But first, let me show you some examples of the Choose campaign. These are various platforms that the ads have appeared on throughout the year, whether it's mobile ads. Actually, just a few weeks ago, we had a complete takeover of the Xfinity login page. Some of you may have seen that as you were checking your email or maybe even paying a bill. Billboards, we run buses, and then the middle picture on the bottom is something new that we've done. To take advantage of holiday traffic and commuters in northern New Jersey, we've actually have ads placed in the train stations where we're able to show a variety of those images, and that's just a small example. So how do we know it's doing well? We track, we do analytics, and I want to show a diagram here that really shows the impact of what the Choose campaign does. The admissions personnel does an outstanding job traveling throughout our region to get students to come to Stockton, to apply, to register, to enroll, and so forth. A lot of their materials send students and individuals to a website, which is stockton.edu/admissions. The Choose campaign sends them to a website called /choose, stockton.edu/choose. They're essentially the same sites in a way. They offer the same type of information. Obviously, the Choose site is a little bit more visual as it relates to the campaign, telling stories about the students that we feature. But they can still apply. They can still click a link to visit the campus and attend an open house and learn more. What happens when the Choose campaign, on top of the admissions efforts, are combined? That's what it looks like. This is pretty impressive, and this is one of the reasons why we were honored with the awards, because those awards, as creative as they are, with the wonderful artwork and stuff that we do, the results are what matter. And I'm very proud of the team and everybody's effort to get us here. Some of you may be wondering what those peaks represent. Those peaks represent when we invest the most money in our advertising. So yes, I'm going to say that again. When we invest the most money in our advertising, we get outstanding results. But obviously, we're not comfortable just resting on those successes. We need to do more, and we need to learn how to choose to stay ahead of the curve. Well, we've got some interesting techniques that we're using now. Geofencing. What is that? Some of you may have heard of it, some of you don't know what that is. Collectively in this room are a group of people. Imagine me drawing an imaginary fence around you and then using an ad network to place an ad so that when you go on your mobile devices, you see that ad just within that circle. That's what geofencing is. It's a geographic tracking system that uses the GPS technology in your phones to deliver ad content based on the ad network that we invest in. We did this for summer. Why? And why is there a circle around our campus? Well, we discovered that 86% of the students here at Stockton enroll in summer classes. So why would we be floating messages outside of the boundary of our campus location if most of those kids are right here? So as students walked around the campus last year, they saw ads pop up on their mobile devices promoting the summer campaign. And we're doing it again this year. Micro-targeting. I saw our folks from Grad Studies here, and this is a great example of how instead of just promoting that we have grad studies, we have individual programs within grad studies that we want to invest and communicate about. MBA, data science and analytics, and also our EDD program. We also want to broaden our reach. This is something that Strategic Enrollment Management is really dedicated to. I know we've talked a lot about it. That's us, a little bit small. We do a great job covering the state of New Jersey, but we need to do a lot more. And I know we've added staff, and we've added investment from our marketing efforts to spread our messages throughout our region. So we're hoping to see some of those results, and we're tracking them right now. We also broaden our reach in terms of audiences. Transfer students. We know they're a very important population, and we do not hesitate to explore a variety of ways to get their attention. We do that by having events here on campus, but also with strategic messaging on social media platforms. Also, some other populations, in particular the Latino-Hispanic population. We're running print ads, television commercials, and putting content on social media to attract them too. But marketing and advertising is only part of the story. We also do news and media relations. As I mentioned before, it's an integrated approach, and we choose to make headlines with that. In fact, we have great relationships with our local media. That image right there arrived today because I couldn't find it online, and we got in touch with the press, and they ended up sending us that image. Diane, did you get your picture of it yet? Did you? Okay, good. How do we know how well we're doing from a media standpoint? That. I'm not going to waste your time looking at each one of those little blocks, but that's an analytic tool called TrendKite that we use to take a look at how our name of the institution is getting out there, how faculty members are being recognized, and our president. But let's boil it down. What's a real measure of the success from news and media relations? It's share of voice, and that means the voice of the university, how often our name gets out there in the media. And over the course of the past year, we have consistently, month to month, been in the top 3. Okay, sometimes we're number 1, sometimes we're number 3. And those other 2 schools that you see there that have the percentages next to them are our primary competitors when it comes to share of voice. They too are often in the top 3. So we're doing a great job. But who has the loudest voice here at Stockton? I'm looking at him. He happens to be the loudest voice of all the university presidents when it comes to share of voice.
We'll take that. We'll take that. I didn't know that. Thank you. Thank you.
And I appreciate the applause, but I'm going to get to something later. As great as Dr. Kesselman does at leading share of voice for university presidents, he should not be doing it alone. We're all ambassadors for Stockton, and I'll talk a little bit more about how we can utilize the staff and expertise that we have here to expand that. The changing landscape of media. If I showed you this diagram 5 years ago, you would see different news outlets listed here. You probably would not see social media icons that you see. Those are now becoming a leading way that people are consuming their media. We know because we survey students at open houses and throughout the year through focus grouping to find out where they're consuming their media so that we can put our messages where they are. But even traditional news sources, okay? Such as your local newspapers, your weekly newspapers. They're starting to disappear. So in a couple of years, this is what it's going to look like, okay? We don't know. We know the social media platforms will continue to rise because that's how news is being delivered. But as far as traditional platforms, TV stations, publications, we really don't know. And so we have to stay ahead of it. We have to use those tracking mechanisms, the trend kite tools, to find out where our name is getting popped up in the media. We also have to make sure that we no longer rely on our own press releases. And now that's an interesting thing, right? This is what we do. We send out hundreds and hundreds of press releases a year. But that's not enough, because those press releases are getting picked up by maybe a local newspaper, maybe a weekly. And let me tell you a story. I just showed up an image of the Hip Hop Summit that we had in December. Great event for Stockton, right? Successful. We produced a press release. We put that press release out. That press release was picked up by the Press of Atlantic City. Wonderful. But what happened next was even better. The article in the Press of Atlantic City was picked up by the AP. The AP story was picked up by over 50 outlets throughout the country, okay, spreading the word not only about the Hip Hop Summit, but about Stockton University and the fact that we're hosting an event like that. When Gorsuch was here, Justice Gorsuch, we talk in simple terms in URM, sorry. When that judge guy was here, he generated a lot of media interest for Stockton too. Over 100 outlets picked up the story that appeared in the press, actually, I'm sorry, that appeared from the AP about the justice being here. But what was even neater about that, what was even cooler, was that some outlets picked up the words that he said. It was more than just being about him being here at Stockton. When he talked about Fourth Amendment rights, for example, for those that you remember, there were certain legal-based blogs and news sources that picked that story up and spread that message even further. So we have to establish very strong relationships with the local media that covers us because their stories are the ones that are getting picked up. As awesome as Diane D'Amico is, she's only one person, and we need that network that the AP provides, that our local media provides to keep our message spreading. Another example, how do we help our local media? Well, you remember this career fair that occurred a couple of weeks ago in Atlantic City? Over 4,000 people, nearly 5,000 people arrived. Well, Ted Greenberg contacted us. He's a reporter for NBC 10 in Philadelphia and said he got called into a different story. He wasn't going to be able to come and cover the event. Well, we still wanted the event covered. Diane D'Amico was there, our News and Media Relations Director. She took the pictures, she wrote the press release, and she even captured video from the event that she then sent to Ted Greenberg. Where did the story end up? On NBC10.com and during their newscast. So we are helping the media, and by doing that, our relationships strengthen. But how do we maintain our edge? We've learned a lot of things, we're doing some cool stuff, and how do we continue maintaining that edge? Well, we want to leverage you. We want our faculty and staff that are experts in their field to be the voice of Stockton University in addition to our president. He's doing a great job. But now we want to help everyone else do a great job too, to supplement the great stuff that he's doing. Here's an example. Last summer, there were some tragedies along the shore, not necessarily here, but around the country, with people suffering from rip currents and so forth. And Good Morning America contacted us and said, do you have somebody that can speak to this subject? Stu Farrell was in Cape May. Diane got in touch with him. He didn't know how to FaceTime. They walked him through it. He ended up on Good Morning America the next day. And again, another bright spot for Stockton University to showcase the expertise that we have on our faculty. Other, unfortunately, tragic events do offer those opportunities too. Christine Tortaro with the Kaufman case was featured in the local media, and John White, I believe is his name, faculty member, was featured during the Mandalay Bay. He actually appeared on CNN in a panel talking about his expertise on that tragic event. Maintaining our edge with our partners. The LPGA tournament actually generated 12% of Stockton University mentions during the past year. We want to keep that relationship strong with our association with that event. The Hughes Center, they had 2 outstanding speakers. And as I mentioned with Judge Gorsuch and of course Vice President Biden, that generated a lot of media interest for Stockton University. People love art. The Noyes Museum and the PAC are sometimes the first opportunity somebody has exposure to Stockton University. And so all the good work that they're doing is benefiting us too, and we want to make sure that that relationship stays strong. And then finally, our athletics program. There's a story about athletics in the paper, in the media, every single day. And with it being conference tournament season, even more so. Finally, we're telling our story in different ways, and we have to. Because of the media monitoring that we do, because of the focus grouping that we do, the way that news is being consumed is a lot different now than it was 2 or 3 years ago. What you see here are 2 YouTube pages, or actually they're videos. We have over 240 Snapchat and Instagram stories on our YouTube channel. That's a lot. We hand over a device to a partner on campus. It could be a department, it could be a school, it could be an event. One of our social media interns or a member of that department will actually film the event in real time, and it's broadcast. And so people are consuming it at that time, but then also we capture it and place it on YouTube so that it can be watched again. This is where the future of communication is going to be. Okay? We all saw the tragic things that happened in Florida last week, and we saw it all through the lens of Snapchat or Instagram. Finally, URM owns media too. Stockton owns its own media, and that's our website, stockton.edu. I encourage you to visit this page often. And the reason why I encourage you to do that is because it changes often. Every day, in fact. Every morning in my department, we meet for 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes it goes a little longer. My staff is chuckling because they don't like it when it goes longer. But we talk about what we're going to feature here. This is sort of our newspaper, in a sense. And every day, we're refreshing that calendar, or that carousel. We're putting up new stories. And a lot of that information is what we gather from you because we want to showcase the success at Stockton. So please, visit our website. And I'm going to choose to do one more thing. I'm going to choose to recognize my staff. They are outstanding individuals, creative, dedicated, and extremely hardworking. Please stand. We got a bunch over there, too, those graphics folks.
There you go.
They like to hide. Thank you for the time.
Well, thank you, and that excellent report, Jeff, and that completes my report.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kesselman. Committee reports, starting with Academic Affairs and Planning Committee report. Trustee Andy Dolce.
Good afternoon. We had a week from last Monday. We had our first meeting, basically, in a different format. I think it was robust. A lot of people by phone. Lots of discussion about a couple of things, basically, and I'm going to ask Dr. Vermillion to come up and give a report.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairwoman Deininger, members of the board, President Kesselman, colleagues in the audience. We had a very informative meeting on February 5th. On behalf of the Academic Affairs and Planning Committee, I have one resolution today for board action. The board members in attendance unanimously approved the resolution. I will conclude with 3 informational items. Our first item is to approve the academic calendar. So I have to start with an apology. We spent a lot of time going over the academic calendar. It's very tricky this year because of the date for commencement and the date of Martin Luther King Day. I neglected to consult with the union leadership on the calendar. We consult so much on so many things that this is one of those things that kind of slipped by us. So I apologize profusely, especially to Roger Jackson. He's a great colleague of mine, and I'm very sorry about that. What we'd like to do today, after consulting with our chair of the committee, would be to tentatively approve the calendar with the understanding that we would continue to consult with the union leadership and we'd bring any changes to the calendar forth to the next meeting.
So we're asking for approval subject to a review by the union. Ever,
If it's at all helpful, if it's at all helpful, as president of the union, I think this is a quite workable way to respond to this situation. So we would support Provost Vermeulen's suggestion.
Thank you.
we need a resolution?
So moved. And a second?
Second.
Any discussion or comments?
Trustee Deininger.
Yes.
Trustee Schofer.
Yes.
Trustee Taggart Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Dolce.
Yes.
Trustee Jacobson.
Yes.
Trustee Worthington.
Yes.
Trustee Ajikame.
Finally, I have 3 informational items, all good news. We discussed at our meeting 14 of 24 proposals were funded through the Provost Faculty Opportunity Fund. This is mainly for faculty travel, for a total of over $21,000. Also, 2 of 7 proposals were funded for our Research and Professional Development Committee for the Adjunct Opportunity Fund. And this is a program we just started a year ago, and we have now agreed to increase the amount of funding for adjuncts from $750 award to a $1,000 award. So that's good news. And finally, we're happy to announce that the Doctorate of Nursing Practice was approved by the New Jersey President's Council. It will be offered at Stockton. Very excited about this. It's our 3rd doctorate. Thank you.
I'd just like to add my thanks to the faculty for the continued support for the new program development, particularly to the programs that are being developed for Atlantic City. That process continues. They're in the pipeline. We have, 15 different programs that are in process. So thanks for all your support as it moves through the approval process, as these programs move through the approval process. That's our report.
Nice report.
Thank you so much, Trustee Dolce. And next, Student Affairs Committee report, Trustee Meg Worthington.
Yes, we have a short report today, and I was wondering if President Kesselman would like to make an introduction of new hire too?
Yes. First, I will introduce at this time one of my direct reports and later the other one, but I want everyone to know, since this is Student Affairs, Dr. Christopher Ketching. Many of you already know he's been all over, very, very visible in his first couple of weeks, and I see a lot of smiles out there. Chris came to us from Southern Connecticut State University, where he served as Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs, and prior to that, he was Assistant Provost at Hofstra, Director of Multicultural Engagement at Rutgers University, and Coordinator for Greek Leadership Development at Seton Hall. He's a native of Newark, New Jersey. He received his opportunity to pursue higher education through the Educational Opportunity Fund program at Montclair, and was the first person in his family to graduate from college. Dr. Ketching has experience in social justice and inclusion strategies. He cultivates relationships in local communities through K-16 partnerships. Received his BA from Montclair, MA from NYU, and a doctorate in education from Rutgers University. On behalf of the entire Stockton community, Chris, please stand and be recognized. Welcome officially to Stockton.
You can give the report next time, okay? You get off today. So really briefly, we're going to just have one report on enrollment management for the spring. John?
Thank you, Trustee Worthington. Chairperson Deininger, President Kesselman, members of the board, colleagues and friends of the Stockton community. I'm pleased to be here today. I'll give you a very brief presentation of our spring enrollment report.
Oops.
Oops.
You're going to get Don upset. You're going out of order.
Yes. Once again, Yacovelli, out of order.
Happens.
Okay.
We need to hire him.
Here we
Yes.
go.
It's good he's
All
sitting
right,
next to
here we go. For the spring 18 recruitment cycle, we set a rather ambitious target for growth of 4%, despite the fact that the number of transfer students coming from our county colleges has dramatically decreased over the past 5 years. We were confident that with all the good news surrounding Stockton, that we could more than attract our market share of transfers for the spring. And in fact, that contention was true, as we actually experienced a slight increase in the number of transfer admissions apps, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, approximately 60 more apps. So why did we fall a little short of our goal? Between August and October, enrollment went through an extensive upgrade of our CRM system called Recruiter. This software system operates all admissions functions from initial prospect to the very end, which is the deposit to attend, and everything in between. For the most part, this conversion went flawlessly thanks to the wonderful team of IT and enrollment staff who work on Recruiter every day. However, there was one critical communication flow called the Chase campaign, which reminds the prospective students of what is missing to complete their application that was not turned on. Consequently, the number of incomplete apps doubled in comparison to last year, which clearly inhibited us from reaching our goal. That's the bad news. The good news is that Stockton continues to defy national trends. For the fall transfer cycle, a new product called DegreeWorks will allow prospective students to immediately see where their transfer credits will fit as they plan their coursework at Stockton. Our new assistant director, who we will introduce in a few minutes, has extensive experience with DegreeWorks, and his presence, along with this great tool, will greatly assist with our fall transfer recruitment efforts. As you can see, our numbers look good for new graduate students. Dr. Amy Beth Glass, Director of Graduate Studies, shared with me her satisfaction with the growth that has occurred in the School of Education, specifically with alternate route, teacher education, special ed, and learning disabilities teacher consultant programs. Although we missed our new student number for the spring, our overall headcount is extremely strong. Our SEMP operations team, led by Bob Heinrich, facilitated 2 phone campaigns that greatly enhanced our retention efforts. One for students with outstanding bills, and another for students who had not yet pre-registered. These campaigns will become staples for semesters to come. The 6% increase keeps us right on target to reach the goal of 10,000 headcount for 2021. And by the way, our freshman recruitment cycle for Fall 18 is looking good, with significant early gains on top of last year's phenomenal 32% gain. So that's my report. If anyone has any questions, happy to entertain them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Next, Finance and Professional Services Committee report. Trustee Ellis is not here today, so Trustee Ejikume is going to take over.
For the Finance and Professional Services report, I'd like to yield my time to Michael Angulo for the report.
Thank you, Trustee Ejikume. Chairwoman Deininger, President Kesselman, trustees. The Finance and Professional Services Committee met earlier today prior to this trustee meeting. Among the resolutions that were presented as part of the consent agenda were the following FY18 bid waivers. The All-American Rejects Corp Touring, that is the music group that will be playing for the Stockton Entertainment team, known for the classics Dirty Little Secret, Sweat, I Wanna, and Move Along. Additional bid waivers. I'm actually pretty excited. That's a pretty popular group. Global Spectrum, this bid waiver provides the venue and services for the spring commencement. They are the vendor that will assist with preparation for Boardwalk Hall for our upcoming commencement. GPM Associates, they are the entity, the vendor that offers licensing for potable water systems required at the university by law. We have 3 independently registered potable water systems on campus. The next vendor was CAE Healthcare. This provides for the Lucina Childbirth Simulation Package. It's the only wireless childbirth simulator to train on all stages of delivery and in the rare event of an emergency scenario. And Anatomage, that is a virtual dissection table and a digital library interactive hands-on display of the body using real-life images. And the final bid waiver was for Dumont Jenks. They are providing, as many of you know, consulting services to assist the university with the development of a comprehensive institutional strategic plan. The following items were set forth in the increase in bid waiver contracts. The first one, actually the only one, is Pannoni and Associates. This additional bid waiver was required for additional engineering services, including construction documents and permit submissions to complete Phase 3, which is lot number 8 of the Barlow parking lot project, along with installing the telecommunications conduit pathway along Delaware Avenue. A resolution was also approved at committee for reduced tuition rates for criminal justice and law enforcement employees for the master's degree graduate certificate criminal justice program. This resolution would provide for a 20% discount for in-state per credit charge and as well as a 20% discount for out-of-state per credit charges. This is a bundled per credit tuition and fee rate and will be offered in a pilot program. This is applicable to law enforcement and criminal justice employees who enroll in either the Master of Arts or Criminal Justice program in criminal justice or in the post-baccalaureate certificate in Criminal Justice Administration program. An additional resolution was authorized to contract with W.B. Mason through the joint purchase agreement with Montclair State University. I understand, as was explained at committee earlier, that the rates that we are paying through this joint purchase arrangement is actually more favorable than the statewide contract for public entities. So this is going to be very favorable in terms of our ability to purchase at the best prices. Finally, a resolution was pre-approved for the governmental affairs contract for CLB Partners. This is required by statute to be presented to this board by resolution pursuant to NJSA 18A:3B-56, again requiring any proposed contract to retain the services of a governmental affairs agent must be considered and approved by resolution by this body. So that concludes my presentation for the Finance and Professional Services Committee. Thank you.
We've got to pass a resolution.
So we need to have a
We
resolution.
need a motion. Yep.
Motion?
So moved.
Second?
And any discussion, comments, questions? Thank you for that nice synopsis. Roll
Trustee
call.
Deininger?
Yes.
Trustee Schofer?
Yes.
Trustee Taggart Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Dolce?
Yes.
Trustee Jacobson?
I am going to abstain for voting for Global Spectrum LP and for Pannoni Associates on the bid waiver resolutions. Otherwise, yes.
Trustee Worthington?
Yes.
Trustee Ajikame?
Yes.
Okay. And information items are listed on here. Did we hear about those? Or,
No, they're provided online for people
they're,
to
okay,
review.
fine. Next is the audit committee report. And surprise, surprise, I'm speaking on behalf of Trustee Ciccone, who is not here, and I am unable to comment, so we'll wait until the next meeting.
Well, the report is that the audit committee has not met since the last meeting.
Audit committee has not met. So we're going to move on to Buildings and Grounds Committee report. They have, yes. And that's Trustee Leo Schofer.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. The Building and Grounds Committee met this morning, and for that matter, the Real Estate Committee met last week. It's obvious to all of us that 2018 is going to be a landmark year at Stockton University for development of new facilities. So we've been very, very busy here, and we look forward to everything that 2018 has to offer to us. I'd like to call on the Vice President of Facilities and Operations, and for that matter, construction, maintenance. What else did I leave out to give us a report?
Thank you, Trustee Schofer. I'm going to move right into my presentation. We had a lengthy meeting this morning. We covered about 46. Can you help start me? Do I just click it? Okay. We touched actually over 46 projects this morning. We're just going to pick up about 6 of those this evening. The first, we always start with Atlantic City updates. Just a couple shots. Some of these you've already seen through the President's recent presentations. This is something brand new. It came in last week. This is the first phase of the exterior of the building. It's a unique feature. It's shipped in from Germany. It's a terracotta product, and it's coming in 3 colors. That is the residential colors, and then the academic building will be kind of a hybrid of those colors, which will be a bit different. But I just want to get you your first look at it. That's the mock wall, and for the rest of the next 6 months, you're going to see us evolve those of that exterior work. Just an extra couple slides. You can actually see. I just like this one. I do this at my desk a lot. Just making sure we got them in the right spot. So I'd like to go to Scott. He's going to help me chime up the video. That is the lobby of the academic building, and there's the pre-function space to the event room, which is right here. This is the cafeteria area. That's part of the cafeteria and kitchen area as well. That is a classroom. That is a view from the conference room on the 3rd level. And that's the 2-story space in the academic near the classrooms.
Nice view.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Nice job.
Thanks. All right, and just a couple of the pieces of the homework is that it's a very complex version of when we study the financials on this project. I can tell you that we are right on budget. It's a really complex deal with all 3 buildings, multiple streams of funding, multiple contractors, thanks to a lot of people in the room. But we are right on schedule to be open and operating in that first week of August. And just better get ready. It's coming. I'm going to move on to the next other big project you might see out front, which is the Health Sciences and the USC2 project. I'm happy to report that last week, the Health Science Center received its temporary certificate of occupancy. So it is ready for occupancy. IT has now been in and is loading it with their production equipment and IT equipment. The furniture is all in and stabilized. We've actually been coordinating now with our academic folks to work out the logistics of moving and so forth. It's a great opportunity because we're actually going in there and doing even more deep cleaning, airing out the system. Some of the issues we've learned when we accelerated a project way back in 2013 with the USC1. So this is a great opportunity. Welcome to entertain any tours of the building and so forth. So just let us know. The project is on schedule to be complete somewhere around, oops, I'm going to go back, somewhere around April altogether. And the reason is this landscaping plan. You don't see any landscaping here. There's a significant amount. I can't even explain to you the value of what we're applying to this. But just envision about 800 trees and plants, trees and shrubs, 9,000 plants, 67,000 square feet of grass, sod, other landscaping, rain gardens, irrigation systems, all vetted through our biodiversity committee, so it's consistent with the Pinelands region requirements. Very proud of that. That's what you're going to see on that dedication day in May. And now we'll just do a quick video of what's happening here. That's the sustainability lab. It's another view of it. And one more view of that lab. This is right outside the Dean's Suite. That's to keep you awake. All right, so that project, like I said, is going to be, we're going to wrap that up in April, ready for their dedication in May. I'm really proud about the budget on that project. We're right on budget. We did not exceed 0.5% in change order activity on that project. And that goes to the value of everybody in the room. A lot of collaboration with the faculty, the staff, of what we can do, what we can't do. And the building is fully furnished and ready for action. That's what we call it. But the other big project that we have that's in collaboration with this is when we first started this project, we shelled the 3rd floor of the Health Science Center, which means that we didn't do anything in it. It was post-budgetary and allow program to catch up to see what we're doing, and it did. Evolved Physical Therapy was the academic program that would advance into this area. We have completed the design. We have bid it. It's right on budget. We're under contracts now. We'll start construction probably in the next 30 days. And this will be available for the fall to match the academic year. So we're very, very happy about that. Just a couple comments on parking, and I will tell you that the cabinet and the Building and Grounds Committee, as well as the whole Board of Trustees, are very sensitive to the parking issues on campus, and we talk about it all the time. It's great. So I can tell you that we've advanced a lot of ideas through the Parking Committee. And the one that actually we're advancing now for this year is parking lot 8C. You heard about a resolution to build what's called 8C. You have 8A and B. 8C is adding another 350 parking spaces, but we're not just stopping there. We're looking at paving more of lot 9. We're doing improvements on the intersections of coming in off of Pomona Road. And within that engineering contract, we're going to advance the first stages of evaluating a design for light traffic controls at the corner of Pomona and Vera King Ferris, and we all know that is desperately needed. So that's coming. This parking lot will be open and operational for the fall semester as well. Another project, you know, I believe we have a dedication in the next couple weeks, is the Manahawkin Center. This project is done, is under use right now. Just a couple slides. IT came in and overlaid all their technology in the building in collaboration with the renovations. This is a couple of views of the student lounge area. The kids like this very contemporary furniture. Furniture for the classrooms, and please pay attention to that because that is also initiatives that come out of our space committee meetings. Faculty groups have actually voiced what kind of a classroom is the best setting. So we are striving for table and chairs and pushing 36 to 40 seats in all of our classrooms when we have that kind of capacity. And the last component, I'll just talk for Bob real quick, is something we're really excited about. It's been years in the making. We talked about this all fall. It's reality. Construction started during the winter here. The foundations are huge. Look at that drill bit. And we're happy to say that if you were paying attention, the tower went up yesterday. So for those who won the prize, you can collect it in Bob's office. We're happy to say that this is one of 2 towers, one on the south side near the athletic fields, the other is over near Housing 4. We expect the construction to be all done. It's a collaboration of ITs running the project. Facilities is just assisting with the construction part. We are going to be up and running early summer. So that's a great task that IT was able to deliver that. And that's all I have to report.
Nice job. Nice job.
Thank you, Don. Before we move on to the resolution, the board would just like to acknowledge you and your department for all your fine work in keeping these projects both within budget and on schedule. It's difficult enough to do with one major project like Stockton, Atlantic City, but to do the two projects here in Galloway and Atlantic City at the same time really is quite an accomplishment. So I'd like to move on to a resolution. We had a meeting of the Real Estate Committee last week, which is separate and distinct from the Facilities and Grounds Committee, and there was a recommendation by that committee that this board pass a resolution authorizing the sale of 300, I have the address correct? 300 Shore Road, which is the former president's residence, which is no longer in use by the university and no longer an asset needed by the university. And if it were, it would need an investment of funds for repair and update. So we recommend this resolution.
Second.
Roll. Any questions, discussions, or comments? Roll call.
Trustee Deininger?
Yes.
Trustee Schofer?
Yes.
Trustee Taggart-Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Dolce?
Yes.
Trustee Jacobson?
Yes.
Trustee Worthington?
Yes.
Trustee Ajikame?
Yes.
That concludes our report.
Thank you. Next, Development Committee report. Trustee Michael Jacobson.
Thank you, Madam President. The Development Committee has not met since the last board meeting. That concludes my report.
Very nice.
Okay. Investment Committee report. Trustee Andy Dolce on behalf of Trustee Stan Ellis.
On behalf of committees, Chair Stan Ellis would like to report that the Investment Committee met on Monday, February 12th. I would like to ask University's Vice President for Administration and Finance, Michael, to provide a brief update on the committee meeting and how he is engineering through these very difficult market conditions.
Thank you, Trustee Dolce. As an update for the 6-month ending December 31, and of course we've had recent market turbulence, but this is through December the 31st of 2017, the university investments realized a gain of $4,035,269. That is net of fees totaling $169,946. The gain is comprised of unrealized gains of $2.964 million. That is just the value gain. It's not realized until you liquidate, so it's just depending on the fluctuations of the market. We also received realized gains of $165,000 and a net dividend income of $1.076 million, net of fees of $170,000. As you may know, our investments are managed by two investment advisors. One is Wells Fargo. They manage 27% of our portfolio and received a net, realized a net gain of 4.58% on their investments. The other manager is, it used to be called Ashford Consulting, but now they are known as Windmark. They manage 73% of our portfolio, and they realized a gain of 5.44% over that 6-month period ending December 31st, 2017. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you. Next, approval of university policy. Dr. Kesselman.
Yes, we have two action items with respect to university policy. As you recall, policy is approved by the Board of Trustees, procedures through the cabinet to the office of the president. The first one you've already read. This is the second reading, so this becomes policy upon approval of the board, and this is the university whistleblower policy that you approved its first reading in February 21st, 2018. So I ask that there be a motion to approve this policy.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, discussions, or comments?
Trustee Deininger?
Yes.
Trustee Schofer?
Yes.
Trustee Taggart-Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Dolce?
Yes.
Trustee Jacobson?
Yes.
Trustee Worthington?
Yes.
Trustee Ajikame?
The second item, this is the first reading of the revision to the university policy concerning the institution's campus conduct code. And it's a little longer than most policies, but we wanted to make it very clear what the rights, the expectations are as it pertains to institutional behaviors, values, prohibited conduct, and the like. This is the first reading. A lot of folks worked on this. I think it's really an improvement of what we've had in the past. I am familiar with this policy from its, it began actually. And I commend Ellen, all the folks, Brian Kay, the legal, and everyone, academic affairs, I think, student affairs. I'm not even sure, there's been input from all members of the community. This is important. It addresses a lot of the issues that we deal with now that sometimes we didn't deal with previously. So I urge the Board of Trustees to consider this revision on its first reading. This is not an action item, right? This is just
Correct, first reading.
First reading, okay. So that I guess that concludes my remarks on this matter. You look at me looking over here. Yes, I'm getting yeses, so I guess that does conclude my remarks.
Okay. And that's just a
Oh,
review.
I have one other
We don't-
thing, right,
yeah.
right. Personnel action. The personnel resolution.
Right.
Okay. Again, I ask that be a motion to approve the personnel resolution for the February meeting.
So moved.
Well, hold on.
Well,
We don't have a
we don't
personnel
have a-
resolution.
They don't have a person? Yes, they do, online.
The resolution is, it's online and in Blackboard as always.
So you do have one.
So it's not in here?
Sorry, Trustee Jacobson, it's not in there, but I could give you, I have a copy in my hand if you'd like one.
Yes.
Yes, we'd like to see
Go
it,
ahead, go
please.
ahead.
I don't have one in here either.
I know you don't. That's why I told you.
Excuse us a moment.
That's why I told you good luck.
Talk amongst yourselves.
There's a lot of really good actions on this, so you know
Yes.
that. What is it, promotions, and reappointments?
I don't know if I'm-
Through everything.
I don't know.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is-
You ready?
There's a couple anxious
I have
people
some.
out here, I want you to know that.
Okay, so I'm assuming that everyone, I did see this online, but what confused me is I usually have in my book here, and I didn't see it, so I apologize for this glitch. So has everyone looked at it online? Can we?
Some of us are online challenged.
Right.
Okay, so do I have a motion?
I so moved.
I'll second it.
All right, and any questions or comments or discussions?
Trustee Deininger?
Yes.
Trustee Schofer?
Yes.
Trustee Taggart Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Dolce?
Yes.
Trustee Jacobson?
I flipped through it, and we discussed it during closed session. Consequently, yes.
Excellent. Trustee Worthington?
Yes.
I'd like to comment on one personnel action that you just made, and then other folks will comment on others. It's a direct report, so I will do this. And many of you, in fact, probably all of you know him. He is Dr. Michael Klein. Mike Klein, the interim executive director of the William Hughes Center, who in his first week in his role had to host the Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch, which was a nice onboarding, as it commonly referred to now, orientation to the university. As everyone knows, he truly is an expert on higher education policy, but policy in general. He's one of the best and most thoughtful writers of policy that I've ever met in the state of New Jersey. He was the executive director following Darrell Greer and was legal counsel to the New Jersey Association of State Colleges and Universities. He served 5 years, by the way, for those who don't know, pre-New Jersey Askew, office of New Jersey Governor Christine Todd Whitman. And he was assistant counsel to the governor, deputy director of legislative affairs for the Department of the Treasury, and special assistant to the Commission of Community Affairs. Prior to that, he was a legislative director to then Assemblyman Leonard Lance, who is now a member of Congress. Mike is truly a very, very, very thoughtful professional. I encourage all of you to take an opportunity to get to know Dr. Klein. He adds value to the institution. So On behalf of the entire Stockton community, thank you for accepting the role, and we're fortunate that you're a member of our community. Thank you. I want to say something else, and this is on a less positive note. Many of you know Janine Arrigo, who was the executive assistant to the provost for a number of years and then became executive assistant to Susan in my office. She's taken ill and is in very serious condition. Please offer your thoughts and prayers for Janine. Take a moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kesselman. Other business?
Comments from the public?
Comments from the public.
So I have the pleasure of introducing two new staff members as well. The first is Ramon Simpkins, who is, where's Ramon?
Where's Vermont? He was here for lunch.
He left.
He onboarded very quickly. He's
His
gone.
first official day is next
still
week,
doing
so we'll give him a pass, but he comes to us from College of New Jersey, and he's taking on the role of Interim Assistant Vice President for Organizational Effectiveness and Ombuds Officer. Very big business card. I'm very excited to have him on board. We also have Dan Nugent, right here, who is taking over as Interim Chief Development Officer and Executive Director of the University Foundation. Dan has been at Seton Hall University, where he has served as the Assistant Vice President of Advancement and Campaign Manager, as well as the Assistant Vice President of Alumni Relations. And he jumped right on board this weekend and was instrumental in our Day of Giving, and I think he's already a veteran, so you can ask him anything you want, he's set. Welcome, thanks.
As Don Hudson mentioned, our expansion in Manahawkin is operational and open, so we'd like to invite you all to a celebration. We'll be having a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the site on March 8th at 11:30 a.m. It will feature, in addition to our president, remarks from our own Board of Trustees member, Nancy Davis. Light refreshments and tours of the facility will also be available. In addition, I am pleased to introduce to you Ms. Kelly Oquist, who is appointed Officer for Budget and Accounting for Academic Affairs. Kelly?
All right, Cal.
Kelly has been at Stockton for 17 years, and we're looking forward to all the contributions she'll make in her new role. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'd like to introduce three new team members of Student Affairs. Destiny Bush-Talley, who comes to us from Salem Community College as Project Director of Gear Up. She is going to be serving as Assistant Director of Admissions. She's also a Stockton alum.
Where is she? Stand up.
James Rodia III, who will also be serving as Assistant Director of Admissions for our transfers. He comes to us from Rowan University, where he most recently served as an academic advisor and also served at Rowan College at Gloucester County as EOF Program Director. He is also a Stockton alum.
All right.
Welcome back, Dan. And Jenna Petrillo, who will be serving as Coordinator of Event Services. She most recently served over at our Hamilton Center for the last 3 years and has returned back to the Galloway campus. And she is also a Stockton alum. Is Jenna here? She may have left already. Okay, so she's not here. Welcome back to all three of our new team members.
Well, you know I could not miss this opportunity. Oh my goodness, especially when I saw in our SOAR campaign that it was a dancer that was soaring. And I just wanted to announce, if it's okay, Madam Chairperson, to tell you and Mr. President about 3 important events in our performing arts program. Because Amanda represented soaring. So I want you to know we have our dance recital is coming up, our dance program. You are going to love it with our students. Please come and attend that. Number 2, we're having in our theater program, Avenue Q. We have an exciting faculty that's in our dance program, in our theater program. But in our music program, we're having the first ever faculty music recital. I am like so excited, y'all. Faculty music recital. We're going to have Jed Galen on the piano, Christopher DeSanto playing classical clarinet, pardon me. We're going to have Joanne Gabriel singing Vizzy Darte. Then we're going to have Alan Schlusky, Oscar award-winning documentary, teaches guitar here at Stockton. He's going to be playing. Then we're going to have Bud Noble, who's on the Hall of Fame in Las Vegas, will be playing the piano. We're going to have our jazz players. It is going to be hot. We are going to be soaring, and you need to be there. You'll see announcements. They'll be in March. Thank you, Diane. She's going to have it out. You're going to see our posters. All of them are occurring in March. Thank you so much.
Bev, can you come and read my report too, please? Trustees, as you've heard, and I'm sure by now you've seen, I have the honor of coming up here and thanking you all for all of your support for our Ospreys Give. Jeff said it earlier, when we invest the most money in advertising, we get the best results. Same holds true with our students. When we invest the most money in our students, we get the best results. And we saw that for 1,969 minutes from Sunday into Monday. A few numbers that might take your breath away. $101,949 raised. 643 gifts. 643 gifts, 562 unique donors, 50-plus volunteers, donors from 23 states, including Alaska. And something we're very proud of here at Stockton, more than 280 gifts came in from faculty and staff members. So on behalf of my entire team and all the students, thank you for all you do. A quick shout out to URM for their support. A sincere shout out to everyone in the Development and Alumni Affairs staff, especially Kelly Brennan, Karen Quinn, and Kent Green for all their work in leading this cause. So thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Trustee Deininger, President Kesselman. I just wanted to get up and quickly announce that right now on the portal available is a student climate survey. So I'm asking all of you to please encourage your students to complete the climate survey. It only takes about 5 to 10 minutes. It is nothing like ours, faculty staff climate survey that took 40 minutes. So forget all about that and just tell students 5 to 10 minutes. Faculty in the room, if you have a few minutes in class, you could actually let them take out their phones, take the climate survey at the end of class for 5 to 10 minutes. It would be great if we could have at least 50% of students taking this thing, but we really want them all to take it because we want to have an idea of their experiences at Stockton around the issue of inclusion. So thank you.
I have just one announcement, but I already said it to you earlier today in an email, but I really want as many people as possible that can be at the May 11th graduation. We are deeply honored that Governor Phil Murphy has chosen Stockton to be his first commencement address. That's terrific for the university. It's terrific for all that we're doing, and it also is a testament to the incredible work that you put forth each and every day, so thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Second?
Second.
When's our next meeting?
All right.
When's our next meeting?
Our next meeting,
Is
Wednesday, May 2nd. Thank you for asking. See you then. Oh,
Sure.